Everybody might not get it. And who really gives a fuck? That's really what we're talking about today. I have two things that I really want to discuss, and I'm stacking up my microphone on top of this little deck because I want it to be closer to my mouth. And hopefully, you cannot hear the construction going on inside of my house right now. Before we get into it, let me tell you who I am in case you're new here. My name is Natalie Hughes. I am a psychic medium and I'm a life mindset and manifestation coach in my business and on my platform. I help professional women to co create emotionally fulfilled and purpose driven lives for themselves. And you'll also have to maybe possibly excuse my voice because I just woke up and this is the first time that words are coming out of my mouth today. So, what I want to talk about is the art of manifestation, the act of manifestation, the act of deliberate co creation is really the act of living on the leading edge of creation. So I'm a total Abraham Hicks follower, love Esther Hicks so much, and crash course on the way that they talk about manifestation. The idea and concept is that as creators of our reality, what we've come here to do is turn thoughts into things. What we've come here to do is want things and then receive and experience what we've wanted, and then want more things and then receive and experience what we've wanted, right? The idea and concept of living on the leading edge of creation is best exemplified by the concept of imagining that you got everything that you wanted and then asking yourself the question, okay, and now what do you want? I got everything that I wanted. What do you mean? Now what do I want? I don't want anything. And it's like that's not true. When you get to a certain place, like let's say we're talking about manifesting money. When I get to the place where I have more money than I can ever possibly spend in my lifetime, what is my next step? What is my next desire? I have given to the charities that I want to give to. I've given to the nonprofits that I want to give to. What's my next step? Going even deeper and spreading my message even further, serving even more people through my nonprofit, serving even more people through my business. Okay, I did that. What's the next step after that? You still have so much more money than you can ever possibly spend. You're taken care of, your kids are taken care of. What's your next step? I'm going to invest in human beings going to Mars or Pluto. Okay, you invested in human beings going to Mars and Pluto. What's your next step after that? What's your next desire after that? I'm going to become an angel investor for other businesses. And maybe you become an angel investor before you start investing in going to Pluto, but that's not the point. The point is when you start taking yourself to the place, the end state where your wish has been fulfilled, and then you start manifesting from that place, then you start thinking about what comes after this, what is next after this place. Now you're really starting to play the leading edge of creation game. The leading edge of creation means I am taking a thought someplace that it's never gone before. The leading edge of creation means I am living a life experience that has never been lived before. And we're all doing this in a million different ways, right? I don't know that there's ever been a woman in my family line who has been able to start and grow and expand her own business and wealth in the comfort of her single mother's home that her mother purchased on her own. I don't think that that's ever happened in my family. So that's leading edge of creation experience right there. So we're all doing that. And every single generation is always growing and expanding in one way or another. We can look at it with technology. The people who were growing up in the 50s and 60s and 70s and 80s were not growing up like millennials and Gen Z with the invention of the internet and the growth of the internet and the World Wide Web and this unlimited access to information right on everybody's fingertips, right? So, leading edge of creation means I'm taking thought to a place that it's never been before. Leading edge of creation means I'm having experiences in my life that have never been had before. So, when we're talking about progress, when we're talking about manifesting your dreams, manifesting your goals, manifesting your desires, you're a woman who is taking money to a place that it's never been taken before for your family and for your lineage. You are the generational wealth builder of your family line. That is progress. You are a black woman or a woman of color who is growing and expanding a multi-million dollar business and empire. That is taking money and taking business and taking respect and taking value of your intellectual property to a place that it has never been before. That is progress. That is living on the leading edge of creation. So when you're living on the leading edge of creation, you are in a position of leadership. You are doing something that's never been done before. You're thinking thoughts that have never been thought before. You're living a life that has never been lived before. You're allowing in experiences that have never been allowed in before. And although I would argue that technically every single human being is living on the leading edge of creation because we're all just naturally experiencing the progression of life on earth. There are some people who, for their own reasons, don't consciously support that progression. There are some people, for whatever reason, who don't consciously support that growth and expansion because they misunderstand and they think it means that it's going to be less available for them because it doesn't even fucking matter. It literally doesn't matter, and that's the point. The point is that as a woman who is the leader of her life, as a person living on the leading edge of creation, it's not your job, it's not your business to have conversations that are convincing people to leave the past behind. Let people be where they want to be. An example of this is like, I remember being a young girl and being like high school age, being like 14 years old. And I was living with my grandpa in his house. And excuse me, I'm sorry, I just woke up. I remember being a little girl and living in my grandpa's house, and he had a computer in his room, and I was on Google Docs, and I was trying to show him how to work Google Docs. And at this point, he's probably like 83 years old. My grandfather was born in 1929, I believe. So, he's an older man. He did not grow up with technology in the same way that I grew up with technology. And so I'm just like, no, Grandpa, it's literally the easiest thing in the world to work this computer. Girl, he did not give a fuck about that computer. He does not give a fuck about Google Docs. Like, he is not interested in this. Or, I remember when Bluetooth pieces were the new thing. I think my grandfather had a Bluetooth piece, right? So he grew and expanded alongside everyone else to the Bluetooth or to the cell phone with the big buttons so that he could see the numbers and all of that stuff. But he wasn't one of those grandpas that is texting you on the phone, and he is not a grandpa that is using Google Docs, which I don't know any that are. But the point is, um, he was living the life that he wanted to live. He liked to watch the Boomerang channel, which I don't even know if Boomerang still fucking exists. He liked to watch the old cartoons like the Flintstones. He liked to watch old country western shoot 'em up type movies. And that is how he wanted to live. And I grew up, well, not like from 0 years old, but in my youth, still in my youth, but whatever. In my younger days, I grew up watching Netflix. I wasn't getting Netflix, when it was like the DVDs. I wasn't getting Netflix then, but I was streaming Netflix. I was watching Charmed and, you know, um, other fucking television shows that I can't remember right now. I was watching television shows from the 90s, but I also was watching, television shows and things that were going on in real time at the same time. And what's my point here? My point is that sometimes people don't want to grow and expand with you. And then there's also an experience where sometimes people are not ready to grow and expand alongside you. This is something that I really had to learn a lot as a woman healing codependency and a woman who has a service based business. Sometimes people need to suffer for 6 more months when you're selling your offer, when you're selling your product, when you see somebody that you love and they're struggling and you're trying to give them solutions and they're not listening or people aren't buying, let it fucking go. Sometimes people need to struggle for 3 more months. Sometimes people need to struggle for 6 more months. Sometimes people need to hit fucking rock bottom. That's not your business and it's not your job and it's not your responsibility because they are the leaders of their own lives. And whether or not they take that leadership is not your responsibility. It doesn't fall under your jurisdiction. The best that you can be is a teacher. The best that you can be is a guide. The best that you can do is offer what it is that you know, is offer the things that you know can help, is offer the things that you know can support. People are going to move when they decide that they are ready to move. So, what is your job? Your job and your responsibility is to surround yourself with people who already fucking get it. If you are a service provider, you are a coach. I know there's a lot of you in my audience right now. Hello, and I love it. So, if you are a service provider, whether it's through coaching or something completely different, your job is to curate an audience that is ready, willing, and eager to work with you. Your job is to curate an audience of people who are ready, willing, and eager to experience change, who are committed to their growth and expansion, who are committed to their happiness, who are committed to their next level, who are committed to a life on the leading edge of creation. Your job is not convincing. Nobody needs to be convinced, and I don't even think anybody wants to be convinced. Let people come to their own conclusions, let people make their own choices, let people make their own decisions, and based on where they are in their lives, and based on what they're willing to allow, and based on what they're willing to relish in, and based on what they're willing to experience, you decide the role that they play in your life. You decide how much access they get to you. You decide what your boundaries look like. You decide what you are available for, and that's all that you really can do. So, this is a really, really important thing because I live in America, I live in California. So a lot of the results of the election, it's like moving through the five stages of grief. Like, no, like this has to absolutely be rigged. This absolutely makes no fucking sense. Why would you vote Democrat all the way down the ballot and then vote for Donald Trump to be president? Like, that's the dumbest shit that I've ever fucking heard. And then apparently there are real life people who really fucking voted in that stupid fucking way. And, that's their fucking business, and they're gonna live out the consequences of those dumbass fucking experience. And sometimes people need to see more war and more destruction and more pain before they're willing to get the fuck up and see something differently and experience something better. Sometimes people need to experience more pain before they're willing to experience something better. For example, last night or yesterday or what the fuck ever, time does not exist, I'm on my period and I'm having, not actively having, but I was having these really bad freaking cramps. So I'm in my bed and I had taken some pain medicine. And so, the lights are off and I have my heating pad and I'm just there laying in my bed, laying in that one comfortable position where it's just like, this is the optimal position and I just cannot move from here. Otherwise, it's going to get much worse. And so I'm feeling these cramps, and then it comes to me in my mind that our womb is where we hold so much of our pain and so much of our trauma. So I'm laying in my bed and I'm doing some EFT tapping and I'm like forgiving Donald Trump, and not Donald Trump specifically, but white supremacy. I'm like in my freaking bed and I'm doing EFT tapping the best that I can, because the position that I'm in, I'm not really super free with all my fucking arms and shit, but I'm doing this fucking EFT tapping. I'm doing this fucking, I'm sorry, thank you, I forgive you, I love you, I release you, I'm sorry, thank you, I forgive you, I love you, I release you. And it's not that this is a real women vote for Donald Trump account. It was never giving that. It's that resentment is poison, and holding on to that pain and holding on to that frustration and holding on to that anger and that resentment building and that pain, not just from this election or the stupid things you're seeing on the news now, but the things that women throughout previous generations have experienced at the hands of white supremacy and all of that shit that gets passed down from generation to generation. What's my point? My point is that it was in that moment of so much physical fucking pain that I was like screaming, that I had a moment of like, oh, fuck this shit. I don't give a fuck what it is. I don't give a fuck where it came from. I am willing to release. I do not give a fuck where the hurt came from. I don't give a fuck where the pain came from. I am willing to release. Sometimes people need more suffering before they are willing to release. That does not mean, oh, I'm wishing terrible things on people. I really don't give a fuck. At this point, I'm neutral. You're going to live the life that is in alignment with your subconscious beliefs. When you get tired of suffering, you're going to choose to do something about it. And when you get tired of suffering and you're ready to do something about it, if I'm the girl that's anointed and called to serve you through that, then you're going to do it through my programs. You're going to do it through my podcast. You're going to do it through blah, 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 offers that I have created that are amazing and powerful and will powerfully transform your fucking life. Like, that's just that on that. But everything else is none of my fucking business. Everything else is not for me to look at. It's not for me to say, oh my God, aren't you so tired of this terrible fucking experience? Aren't you so tired of not being in a relationship? Aren't you so tired of not having enough money for the vacations that you want? Aren't you so tired of blah, 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 blah? No, they're not so tired, because if they were so tired, then they'd be taking action and fixing it. So fuck it. Let them be what they are. Let them be where they are. Let them do what they want to do. Let people live out the life experiences that they want to live out. And when they are ready to experience something new, they will allow themselves to do that. When they are ready to heal, they will allow themselves to do that. And sometimes you have to be beat within an inch of your life before you are willing to say, okay, that's enough now. I am ready. God, angels, universe, somebody help me. I don't want to experience this anymore. I don't want to live this anymore. Help me, help me, help me. And then that's when the fucking Calvary can come in, but not a minute before. It doesn't matter that your guides, angels, and ancestors want to help you, want to support you, want to elevate you, want to do every single thing in their power, which is a lot, to help you get to where you want to go. If you're not fucking ready, you don't want to fucking do it, you don't want to fucking show up for yourself, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because it's your life, because you're the leader. Even when you're telling the story that you're the victim, you're still the leader. Even when you're telling the story that the world hates you and you're powerless and you can't do anything about it, and everybody is mean and everybody else has power and everybody is using their power to kill children in the Middle East, but you can't do anything, you're still the leader of your life. You're still the leader. If you need to see more death and destruction before you decide to step into that position of leadership, fuck it, I guess. Shit, it's not my life. I can't relate. But that's where we are. So there's an energy of being neutral and taking it back to what we started with. We're all on the leading edge of creation. We're all having our own lives and we're all leading our own journeys. You are your number one priority. And we talked about this in the Stop Settling, in the Sorry Not Settling live training that I did, which is now a bonus inside of the Receiver's Mindset. So that's a really good training, but you are your number one priority. You are responsible for creating happiness in your life. And for me, creating happiness in my life looks like surrounding myself with women who are on it. Surrounding myself with women who are committed to emotional fulfillment, committed to happiness, committed to leveling up, committed to living out their dreams, committed to showing up for themselves and for their communities. That's it. That's what that looks like for me. So, okay, there's that. You're living on the leading edge of creation. You are moving forward in your life. It's like Aquarius energy, Pisces energy. This energy, Aquarian energy, Piscean energy, is ahead of its time. Ahead of its time, ahead of the curve, thinking thoughts that have never been thought before. Even though we're all living on the leading edge of creation, there are some people who are living their lives on the leading edge. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, they are actively seeking to turn thoughts into things. They are actively reaching new goals. They are actively manifesting their desires into their physical reality and then going higher and then going to the next level and then the next level and then the next level and then the next level. So you're living life on the creative edge. You're living life on the leading edge of creation. Everybody else is not doing that. There are some people who don't want the newest iPhone. They want to keep their flip phone. Let them keep their flip phone. Stop giving them grief about their flip phone and let them keep their flip phone. Let them relish in their flip phone and you go have fun with your newest iPhone. Who really gives a fuck about somebody who's committed to living in the past? The same thing is true for people who are racist. Who really gives a fuck? Okay, now we're having a conversation about taking your personal power back. I really don't give a fuck about what you think about Black people. I really don't give a fuck what you think about rap music. I really do not give a fuck. I really do not give a fuck at all. I really don't care. I really don't give a fuck. Why would I give a fuck about somebody who is living in 1946? I really do not give a fuck. I really do not give a fuck at all. What are you even talking about? What are you even talking about? There's so much, and we're starting to get into our second portion of the podcast really quickly. We're coming up on it. There's so much conflict, internal conflict that happens because you're sitting trying to convince people that you deserve rights, that you deserve to be taken care of, that they have to take care of you. Oh, I can't succeed and I can't be happy and I can't be successful because blah, blah, blah percent of white women let me down again. Okay. Okay. And white women been white women since white women have been white women. Is that a Black phrase or do you guys know that? they usually don't say white women. They say people been people since people was people, which technically can be rooted in unsupportive stories about human beings not being on your side, but that really doesn't matter. The point that I'm making is there's so much internal conflict because you're under the impression that somebody else has to give you permission to succeed. You're under the impression, the false impression, the lie, the fallacy that somebody else has to do something in order for you to be victorious, that somebody else has to do something in order for you to get what you want, that somebody else has to do something in order for you to grow and expand. And that's actually not the truth. Whether you're talking about the people and how they voted in the election, or you're talking about the microaggressions that you are experiencing in your workplace as you are choosing to climb that corporate ladder. Who really gives a fuck about a white dude bro that doesn't think that women should be in positions of power? Who really gives a fuck about a white dude bro that doesn't respect you, your ideas, or what you have to say? Who actually really gives a fuck? Because it's not the ultimate truth that the reason why you're not recognized is because of the racist white dude bro that doesn't respect you. That's not true. The truth is that you're in that environment, working under that management. You are a vibrational match to that bullshit because you're telling the story that your creativity, your talents, and your gifts are not recognized. You're still the leader, even when you're telling a victim story. So who actually really gives a fuck? Who actually really gives a fuck about the people who are mad? Who actually really gives a fuck about the people who are jealous? Who actually really gives a fuck about the people who are angry and upset and they feel threatened because you having your success is going to take the spotlight away from them? Who actually really gives a fuck about a bitch that's living in lack? Who really actually gives a fuck about a bitch that's living in the past? I really don't care. I really don't care. Oh, what's that? Black Eyed Peas lyrics. I'm so 3008. You're so 2008, bitch. Like, what the fuck? Who really gives a fuck? Who really gives a fuck? I'm living in 3008. That's your affirmation. You want an affirmation for next level living and moving past the bullshit? I am so 3008. You are so 2008. Like, you're a fucking loser. I really don't care. I really don't give a fuck. Why do I care about what a loser has to say? Why do I give a fuck about what a loser has to say? And the reason why you give a fuck about what a loser has to say is because that loser's perception triggers the stories that you've been telling since you were a little girl. And that's what the fuck you need to go and heal. And that's what I teach you how to do inside of my life-changing and transformational programs and services and offers. You're so welcome, humanity. But besides that point, once the shit that needs to be healed has been healed, who really gives a fuck what a loser has to say? I don't even understand it. It's like my energy has shifted and elevated in such a way where certain shit just does not matter to me anymore. It really does not matter to me that you don't get it. It really does not matter to me that you don't think it's right. It really does not matter to me. It really does not matter to me because what you think doesn't really matter at all. What you think really doesn't matter at all because I'm the leader of my reality. What somebody else thinks really doesn't matter at all because you're the leader of your reality. And until they can control your consciousness, until they can control your focus, until they can control the thoughts that you're thinking and the things that you're saying and the way that you're feeling and the way that you're vibrating, which is the way that you're attracting other thoughts, people, places, situations, and experiences into your life, until they can control that shit with their own consciousness, you're still the leader of your life. So who really gives a fuck about what they have to say? It might be mean, it might be hurtful, it might really hurt your feelings, it might be really disheartening, it might be really sad, and you're still the leader of your fucking reality. The idea and concept of a Donald Trump pregnancy, the idea and concept of the Department of Education being absolutely fucking botched and fucked up, even more so than it already is it made me cry yesterday. There were multiple times when I fucking cried, and I still ended off that day going on a fucking rampage about, God damn it, okay, this is the time. This is the time, God, angels, universe. This is what we've been praying for. You need to stay on your Zoom. You need to keep being tuned in, tapped in, turned on to the energy of wealth and motherfucking abundance, because this is the time when Black people need wealth more than ever before. Because what do we need? What do we need? We need a fucking other option. We need another opportunity. This is the perfect time for my business to make multi millions of dollars. This is the perfect time for me to develop a relationship with money, where I trust money to show up for me, where I allow in millions of dollars with ease, because this is a really great time for me to start my own student loan service. This is a really great time for me to start my own student loan service. And if anybody was going to have a student loan service, I would be the perfect woman to have a student loan service, because not only will I have such a strong relationship with money that I can allow money to flow into me, but also I'm the leader of my reality, and I'm a powerful intention setter. And you know that my mindset is everything. And so obviously, there are so many things that I just don't want to share, because it's really nobody's fucking business. And if you take my idea, just kidding, you can never take my idea. What's that Jocelyn meme? You'll never be better than the original. See you in jail, bitch. It doesn't matter. There's a million different plans and ideas and concepts of a plan that I have, things that I am intending, things that are in my vortex, things that are manifesting. And this business is just one part of it. This business is just one part of my master plan. My master plan for good, to heal and up level the fuck out of humanity, right? So this is the time to get the fuck up. This is the time to get the fuck ASAP. This is not the time to go back and forth with people who don't think that you should have rights. This is not the time to go back and forth because somebody said, your body, my choice. I really don't give a fuck. I really do not give a fuck. I really do not give a fuck about words. I give a fuck about energy. And there's actual work that needs to be done. There's actual things that need to be focused on. There's actually shit that really needs my fucking leadership. There's actually people that really need my support right now. There's actually more people. I'm about to be put in a position where there's more people in the world who need my leadership than ever fucking before, because there's about to be more women in the world who are going through divorces than ever before. There's about to be more women in the world who are wanting to start businesses than ever before. There's about to be more women in the world who are realizing that if they want to be able to take care of their families, they need to make more money than they've ever made before. There's about to be a whole bunch of fucking women who there was not a fire under their ass previously, but as all of this shit happens, and as all of this shit unfolds, they're about to be hella fucking lit up. So what do I need to be? I need to be ready. I need to stay ready so I don't have to get ready. I need to be a vibrational match to dozens and hundreds of sales coming in through my website at any given moment in time. So that way, as the money and as the sales continue to flow in, I don't get thrown off course. I don't freak out. I don't have a downward spiral, because sometimes your fears and your limiting beliefs can be triggered when you actually get your fucking desire. This manifestation work, this mindset work is nuanced. You don't say 10 affirmations and then go on and have the best life ever. It's about how you are. It's about how you show up. It's about how you manage your thoughts and your feelings and your emotions and your expectations and your energy every single day. This is a lifestyle change. It's a lifestyle shift. So what do I need to do? I need to be on my Zoom every single day at 10. I don't have time to downward spiral and cry, because what the fuck is going to happen to the Black and brown children of America who are already struggling with the current education system under this alleged new administration, which I'm still in denial about. It's like, I don't have time to cry about that because they don't have time for me to cry about that. They need Natalie Hughes to be on her fucking Zoom. They need Natalie Hughes to be confident and to believe in herself and to believe in what she knows to be true and to have unwavering faith in the value that she can bring to people, because Natalie Annalise Hughes doesn't have a degree, and Natalie Annalise Hughes isn't going to college just so that she can have a piece of paper so that somebody else can validate that she's smart and she's brilliant and she's amazing and she does life-changing fucking work. She's not doing that. I'm not that invested in convincing other people to believe in me. And that moves us on to the next part. Okay, so a portion of that part that I want to talk about is cooperative components, because earlier in the podcast I talked about the fact that you don't need somebody else to do something for you to get your desire. And it's like, that is such a nuanced idea and concept. And what I mean when I say that is that so many people approach manifestation as, I've got to convince people to buy from me so that I can make the money that I want. And that's not true. You need to get into the energy and vibe of, the people are showing up, the people are buying from me, I'm reaching my financial goals, I feel satisfied, I'm confident in myself, I'm confident in my work, I'm confident in how I serve people, I'm confident in the transformation that I provide people. People are getting amazing results from my work. You get in that energy, you get in that vibe. You don't wait for the people to show up and love your work and then you feel those feelings and then you get in that vibe. No, that's not deliberate co-creation. That's not feminine leadership. That's not leading your life with your energy. That's not being the leader of anything. Leaders don't wait, leaders lead. Okay? Leaders don't wait, leaders lead. So I'm not going to wait for somebody else to tell me I'm doing a good job and they'd love to pay me. I'm not going to wait for dozens and hundreds and thousands of women to be seeking out my work to then feel the energy of that. I'm going to get in the energy of, women are so jazzed up for healing. Women are lit on fire for healing. Women are lit on fire to create change in their communities. Women are seeking me out. Women are seeking out answers. They're finding me every single day. They are investing in themselves with ease. They are committed to themselves. They are committed to their happiness. They are committed to their fulfillment. They are committed to healing. They are committed to empowerment like never before. There is an energy of buzz and excitement in my business. This energy is buzzing. This wealth and abundance is buzzing. I'm watching the money flow into my accounts. I'm watching the money stack up across my accounts. There's so much abundance. There's so much abundance. I feel so abundant. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get tuned in, tapped, and turned on to the energy of abundance. And then as I'm tuned in, tapped, and turned on to the energy of abundance, an abundance of women who are committed to healing, an abundance of women who are committed to showing up for themselves, an abundance of women who are ready for change, an abundance of women getting amazing fucking results. As I get tuned in, tapped, and turned on to that energy and that vibration, then those women must show up. They respond to my energetic leadership. So you're not showing up to work going, I really have to get Chad from upper level management to like my idea so that maybe I can get another raise or another promotion. Oh, I'm really afraid to speak up because what if this woman in a higher level position than me feels threatened by my ideas and my confidence and blah, blah, blah. Like, no, you're not living your life for other people. You're not living your life to please other people or to appease other people. You're not living your life to pacify other people. That's not leadership. That's not leadership. You are tuned in, tapped, and turned on. I am so successful in this industry. I am moving up the ladder of this fucking corporation like nobody's business. I feel confident in myself. My ideas are seen. My ideas are respected. I feel so loved. I feel so taken care of. I feel so wanted. We go into meetings and they open up the floor for comments or ideas, and people start looking to me. People are looking to me for my input. People are looking to me because they expect me to have amazing ideas, and I do. The most amazing ideas always come to me. The most amazing concepts always come to me. I am the woman with a plan. I am the woman who is leading this team, and I am loved and I am respected and blah, 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 blah. That's your job. That's your fucking job. And from that energy and from that place, either Chad is going to start looking at you and treating you differently, or you're going to manifest work at another company, or Chad's boss's boss is going to walk into the office one fucking day and sit in at a meeting and is going to notice the fuck out of you. And that's how you're going to move up the corporate ladder. The point is, you don't have to know how it's going to happen. You don't have to know how the people are going to find you. You don't have to know who the people are that are going to pay you. None of that is your job. None of that is your business. That's God's job. You are co-creating. That means what's going to work? Team fucking work. You are working with God. You are working with non-physical energy. You are working with the universe. You are working with Source. Source has a job and you have a job. Your job is living in the end. Source's job is figuring out the details. Your job is living in the end. Source's job is figuring out the details. Your job is living in the end. Source's job is figuring out the details. I love when I repeat myself because I feel like Dr. Umar. The black girls called you ugly, but the white girls called you handsome. I walk around all day saying that phrase. Okay, we don't have time. We don't have time. Move on. The point is, what's my point? Oh, my point is that I'm so funny. No, that's not my point. My point is, well, that's one of my points. That's always my point. But no, that's not the main point. The main point is that, okay, I kind of accidentally got into one of the points that I didn't announce at first. Okay, so there are multiple points. Point number one, the cooperative components must show up. The cooperative components are going to show up in response to your leadership. So be a leader and lead. It doesn't matter that somebody's not going to respect it. It doesn't matter that somebody's not going to like it. It doesn't matter that somebody's not going to pay for it. There's someone who is. Either someone at another company, either somebody across the globe, either somebody who's higher up in that same company. Does not fucking matter. There's somebody who's going to love it because you're in the energy of being loved for what you do. You're in the energy of being valued. And the vibration that you emit must be magnetized back to you. It must be reflected back to you because your reality is nothing but a mirror. It's not an accident. It's not random. It's not you living a cursed life because you're a black woman or what the fuck ever. It's a reflection. It's a mirror. So when you change your energy, something different must show up. And that leads us into the next point, which we've kind of already started talking about here. And that next point is that as the leader of your reality, you don't just need to have an idea, you need to have an embodiment. You don't just need to have the concepts of, this is what I'd like to do, this is what I'd like to see, I wish there was better going on in the world. You need to have an embodiment of amazing things that are going on inside of the world. So instead of saying, oh my goodness, I wish that there were better things that were happening in the world, you need to be the woman who is living a life where she is going on and on and on about, oh my God, amazing things are happening all over the world. Did you see all of the black women that got elected into Congress? Did you see all of the amazing wins that happened for Democrats across the United States during this election? Oh my God, there is so much goodness that's happening in the world. Oh my God, there's so much progress. I'm seeing so much progress. I'm seeing so much progress. It is crazy the amount of progress that I'm seeing. I feel so hopeful. I feel so optimistic. I feel so proud of my fellow man. Progress, progress, progress. There's so much progress. You need to get tuned in, tapped, and turned on to the energy of progress. You need to embody progress. You need to embody the woman who is experiencing progress in her own life. And you need to be living in that reality. You need to curate an internal world where there is progress, whether you're looking at the progress that's actually happening in the world right now, or you are imagining that progress is happening in the world. And what's going to happen is you're going to be a vibrational match to those experiences. So a really quick lesson on your brain. You have this thing in your brain, which I can't remember the name to. What is that thing called? Your RAS, reticular activating system. Yes. So basically, your RAS is this portion of your brain, portion of your subconscious mind that is in control of deciphering which details stick out to you when, because you are receiving a fuck ton of information at any given moment in time. Your subconscious mind is picking up on everything, but there's only a couple of things that are really relevant for you, like the fact that it's 1:11 p.m. right now. There's only a couple of things that are relevant for you to pay attention to. So when you have programmed your RAS, which we all have, whether you've done it deliberately or as a natural consequence of your lived experience, when you have programmed your RAS, certain specific things are going to stand out to you. A great example of this is like, you see a yellow car and then you see another yellow car, and then everywhere you go, it's like, oh my God, there are so many yellow cars in the world. Did they put more yellow cars in the world? Why are there so many yellow fucking cars in the world? And it's not true that there are more yellow cars on the road. It's true that you have communicated to your brain, hey, yellow cars are important, so let's look for yellow cars. That's the same thing that goes on with your reticular activating, well, that is your reticular activating system in action. So when you are deliberately tapping into the energy of, there's so much progress happening in the world, there's so much progress, I feel so much progress, I'm seeing so much progress, you're communicating to your brain, hey, look out for progress. Progress is really important. If there's progress, we should be made aware of it. And so the progress that is happening in the world, the things that are going on in the world that is good, will start to show up more in your life because your reticular activating system is more on the lookout for those things, and because you're the manifester of your reality. So you will be calling in more good things. So it's like a double whammy type shit, right? And that is the second point. Not so much about your RAS, but about your job as the creator of your reality to embody that next level energy. You don't just need to have idea, oh, I'm waiting for the world to change. Oh, I hate all of these terrible, horrible things that are happening. Oh, I hate blah, blah, blah. And I think it's the worst thing ever. And I just can't wait for somebody else to come and save us. Don't do that stupid shit. Just do not waste your fucking time. Because in that moment when you're going, I wish that things were better, you're still living in that energy of life sucks. Life is terrible. People are terrible. Politicians are terrible. And you are co-creating your own unhappiness. You're co-creating your own suffering. You're still the leader of your life, even when you're telling a victim story. So do something different. Create something different. Choose a different experience. I love the politicians that I know. I have some really good politicians in my government. I love this politician. I love how this politician shows up. I love how this politician advocates for people. I love the progress that this politician is making. I love this and I love this and I love this, and this is so amazing and this is so amazing and this is so amazing. And the last thing that I'm going to say is, I've been saying it all the time, I've been saying it for years now, it's about more than a car. It's about more than money. It's about more than blah, 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 blah. Because just like you're manifesting whatever amount of money is or isn't in your bank account right now, you're also manifesting what is or isn't going on in your government. You are a microcosm within a macrocosm. You are an energy that is contributing to life on earth. And it's going to feel very difficult and very impossible to hold the vision of peace in the Middle East when you don't even know how to hold the vision of having more than enough money so that your savings can stay that way and just continue to grow and expand and rack up interest for you. It's very difficult to hold the vision of peace in the Middle East and to genuinely and authentically believe that your intentions are manifesting when you don't even know how to hold the vision for next level income, next level pay, next level respect, next level recognition, next level reward. It's about more than getting a new car. It's about your ability to lead the world. It's about your ability to live on the leading edge of creation, because everybody is leading. Whether they're telling a victim story or not, everybody's leading. But do you want to be one of the leaders who's living in the past? Do you want to be one of the leaders who is perpetuating that conflict between past versus the future? Or do you want to be one of the leaders that's living in 3008? And who really gives a fuck about the people who are living in 2000 and late, because we're all moving towards 3008. So it really doesn't fucking matter what anybody else has to say about it, because that's just how shit works, and that's just how shit's gonna go, and that's just what the fuck it is. So I don't have to convince you to come with me. I don't have to convince you to want change. I don't have to convince you to be okay with it. I don't have to convince you to like it. I really don't have to give a fuck how you feel at all, because we're all moving towards 3008 anyway. So who really gives a fuck about what a hater has to say? Who really gives a fuck about what a loser has to say? Who really gives a fuck about what somebody living in the past has to say? I don't. Personally, I really don't give a fuck. I don't have much more to say about it. I don't have time to argue. I don't have time to go back and forth. I don't have time to convince you, because I really do not give a fuck about what a loser has to say. I really don't. I really don't at all. Okay? So that's all that I have for you. I hope that you enjoyed it. And if you really loved this episode and you're like, okay, I want some next steps, I want some actionable things that I can do, then I would highly recommend checking out my program, Visual Vamp Up. Okay, this is the program where I'm teaching you how to create, expand, and hold a vision for your life that actually comes true, and it's perfectly aligned with what we've discussed today. Inside of Visual Vamp Up, you are learning how to create vision boards and learning how to do a million other things. I'm going to be adding in my living in the end retreat into this program, so it's going to be growing and expanding, and I'm also going to be having a live element of coaching through this program, and that's going to be coming to you guys in January. So I'll be talking about it more over the next coming weeks, and a lot more strongly as we move into December. It's going to be really, really good. I suggest checking it out now, enrolling now, going through the content that's already there, because it's really, really good. And then as I continue to add to it and beef it up and then put that live component, it's gonna be fucking fabulous. Right now it's only $500. When I add to it and add the live component, I might raise the price. I'm not entirely sure yet, because it will be like a live group coaching program in that way, so I might change the price around. Regardless, if I was you and I was interested, I would look at it. If I felt called to enroll, I would enroll now while the price is $500, because it's liable to go up. You guys know me. I love raising my price and making more money, and that's what I was always going to do, because that's just how I am. I love you so much. Thank you for being here. Be sure to follow the podcast. Be sure to rate this motherfucker 5 stars. If you're going to rate it 0 stars, then just don't do that. It's better to say nothing at all. Okay, I love you, and I will talk to you next week on Monday.